Thank you. My name is Viktoriya. I'm the founder and managing partner of TA Ventures, and here I'm as a mother of three. My son is in Ukraine, my father, my ex-husband is in Ukraine, and my team, please come over on stage. Let's see the video first, and then I will tell you a little bit more about the initiatives, what we are doing for Ukraine. Thank you for being here, for giving us the stage. I would like to invite first Viktoriya. She is from Mariupol and her family is there. She will start our presentation on what we are doing within One Ukraine and other charitable organization we started together. Viktoriya, please.
Hello, good morning. Thank you, Viktoriya, for introduction. My name is Viktoriya Kolosova. I'm from Mariupol, born and raised. Unfortunately, my entire family and my friends, classmates, they were all in the city. And of course, nobody have ever expected what happened. So in these months of complete blackout of the connection, communication, water, etc., we didn't know what to do. We stayed in the safety, but our family and friends, they were there. The only information that we knew is that there is a horror stories going on there. People melt on the snow, they are collecting the rain, and this is all going on in the 21st century. It's not that far away, it's just 2,000 kilometers. It's just like Madrid, you know, Spain. So in these months, we decided to be proactive because we needed to use our energy, and we created One Ukraine with our partners. And this project is supposed to help to all the people who are going out of the horror that is going on right now in Ukraine. And my team will tell you more about the project. Our team, I'm sorry. My husband, I just wanted to say.
Thank you. You hear me? I'm not on that one. I think, yeah, everybody in this conflict has a story. I think a lot of people in this room, probably almost everybody, has helped in his way or her way. There are a lot of charities springing up. There's a lot of personal help. People took people in their homes. We know quite some of them. People donated, people drove there, and a lot of those things. Maybe about, okay, it's not about me, but quickly about me. I'm an Austrian. I've been a tech entrepreneur for a long time. I started my first company in 2000, miserable, failed. Did a second one in 2004, worked well, and worked my way up to start and co-found Delivery Hero in 2010. Started Gropius, a company in modular construction, 3.5 years ago. Luckily I've been able to marry Viktoriya, as you just said. And been involved in Ukraine for quite some time, business-wise, friends-wise, and family-wise. And I said, there's a lot of stories around it, and all of us had our own stories. So a lot of us at One Ukraine have been tech entrepreneurs, tech investors, Ukrainians that were in that market, and things like that. And we basically did our own things in the beginning and said, okay, how can we combine it? Because since we started with One Ukraine, each individually and partly together, we have already started on day one. So we have helped in 3 areas. Of course, the most urgent in the beginning was evacuating people, protecting people, getting people out of Ukraine, or basically close to the border where it's safe. We've done that with almost 8,000 now. We provided our money, raised some money, helped to provide aids, which was probably more than 4 million euros at the moment. And we started some projects that we thought that can help and aid with rebuilding. because we think you cannot start early enough to think about the positive future about it and to start to build a country. For example, we built the first outside school with fully staffed with Ukrainian teachers, more than 20, almost 200 kids, and fully accredited as a Ukrainian school. So basically the diplomas and everything they get, they count to Ukrainian diplomas. Yeah, through that and also through the help of our co-founders and partners and members in Viktoriya, we've been able to build very strong networks to the government, like directly on the level of the ministries, directly with the people that are the vice presidents and others, because otherwise it's very hard to help really in the Ukraine and not to people outside in the Ukraine that basically fled, but really try to help the country itself and the people in there. What are we doing basically? We do three things, three main topics that are important for us. First one is stabilizing the economy. So we try, whenever we do something with aid, with products, with medical goods, we try to source them in the Ukraine first. And we build databases and things like that to do that. The second thing is we pilot projects. You know, we're not $1 billion European fund, but we can spend the first couple of 100,000, the first couple of millions to basically prototype a project. A housing project, a school project, show it's transparent, show that the money goes the right way, show it's done entrepreneurial, and then get funds later on that basically scale it up. And the third thing, as I just mentioned, is quite in markets like this, it's quite important to know where your money goes. It's quite important to know with whom you're working, and it's very important to see it's efficient. So this is what we basically try. An example for you is Licky24 is a very big company in the big data space and delivery space for medication, for pharmacies and B2C. Viktoriya is an investor there. And we teamed up because we're all about data, we're all about entrepreneurship, and basically really try to find out and then support it, co-finance, source it, what the markets, what the people really within the Ukraine need. There's a data center behind it, there's a logistics center behind it, and try to source medication in the country or outside and then co-finance it, co-sponsor it, or get it at very cost-plus prices. The same we will do very quickly and very soon with food. There are a lot of suppliers still in the Ukraine, they need to operate. They need money, they need to pay the employees. It's not always helping just to bring stuff in from the outside, as long as you can still support the local economy on the inside. This is what we are trying with Gropius, with my company, to do. We try to go more into the direction of reconstruction and not temporary housing, but housing that can be used. It's very nice, actually. And at the same time, it can be disassembled again and used somewhere else after the war is over, it's better, and can be basically not used as a normal temporary housing, but like a real high-quality housing. And we're working on a project there right now. We're quite far with engineering, with a couple of several partners in the region. Multi-family homes, big ones, up to 4, 5, 6 floors. Ready to disassemble, put somewhere else after the war is over. Super efficient, of course, and energy sustainable, because there's no EU fund or somebody else financing reconstruction if it's not basically very CO2 optimized. And we put our own building system and our own operating system for cool building on the inside. The target cost to do it, at the moment, we want to reach somewhere below 1,000 euro on a square meter. Completely done. Kitchen, everything, bathrooms, all this kind of stuff. If we're lucky, we can do the first probably in August or September already. How can you help? How can you support us? I mean, there are a lot of tech entrepreneurs here, a lot of investors, people with great networks. We always take members. Our members, as us, basically invested a little bit of money. It goes to salaries, basically. We have a full-time team. Our full-time team is 90% Ukrainian at the moment. We scale that up. We take care that the money goes where it is. We do auditing, all those kind of stuff. Corporate partners, of course, and of course, ambassadors that help us with their network. I hand it over to you, Viktoriya.
Yeah, so basically this is the wrap-up of what we are doing on the entrepreneurial level. So we decided to start the One Ukraine. It's entrepreneurs to entrepreneurs, it's business to business, because the most important is, now is to preserve the small and medium-scale businesses. You know, there's 6 million of Ukrainians left Ukraine, and 13 million people are left without houses. So we are focused on the private sector, first of all, because that is the most important now. On the individual layer, and which is important and very interesting for me personally as a founder of TA Ventures, we invested over the 220 companies in Ukraine and globally. As a founder of VTech, the female entrepreneurs and founders living international, working international, and also in Ukraine. and also as a founder of the network of Ukrainian angel investors living everywhere in the world. We are more than 300 angel investors now. So I'm fascinated by the power of networks. So basically at the end, it's all about the people. And we started the project, 1K project. The founder of the project is our partner. Ella is a principal at Tia Ventures. She is focused, she is running the volunteers, 85 volunteers, which are in this project. And she will tell you just 1 minute about what we are doing in 1K project exactly.
Thank you, Viktoriya. The 1K project started from the day one. The premise of the project is quite simple. It's direct relief to families. People from the US, Europe, all over the world sending $1,000 to families affected by the war in Ukraine. This is a sort of human-to-human direct help and the best way to help families at scale. We are a team of 85 volunteers led by our partner, tech entrepreneur, venture capitalist Alex Iskol, who was born in Ukraine and then immigrated to the US. So by the numbers, we managed to raise like 7.5 million from individuals, corporates, venture capitalists, startups, and we were able to provide financial assistance to almost like 6,000 families. But the need is immense. So we're having 127 applications, and the number is 1,000 applications, and the number is growing every minute. So we have several options how to make donation. You can make a donation as an individual, as a corporate. You can make employee donations. So we keep going and appreciate any help. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And, as you can see, the Ukrainian part of our group is represented by the women, because, as I said, the male part of our country unfortunately cannot live. Also, my son, 19 years old, he's in Kyiv, as I said, my father, my ex-husband, everybody there. And actually, they don't want to live with the majority of our team. So I would like to bring on stage for 1 minute Masha. She is one of the most visual media face in Ukraine. She's a friend of mine for many years, and she is the ambassador of United Nations to Ukraine, currently living in Munich. And she will tell 1 minute about her project based on humanitarian aid to the kids and their families. Masha,
thank you, Vika. Thank you, everybody, for coming and for listening for us. I will be short. I don't have presentation because the topic I will talk about, it's so hard, and you will understand it in words. So since 2018, I am the honorary ambassador of UNFPA in Ukraine. My main purpose was to prevent domestic violence in our country. When the war began, my foundation, it's called Masha Foundation, it's very simple, decided to make the humanitarian help to women, children and elderly people who stayed in hotspots in Ukraine. A lot of people didn't move from their houses. And for now we have a lot of categories of problems. The first one is that Ukraine needs about 15,000 tons of food every day. And we have even the prognosis that by autumn, if the situation will be like today, we will have the epidemic of hunger in some hotspots of our country. The main category I'm working with is the hotline for the victims of war. These are women, children, men, teenagers from Bucha, Kharkiv, Irpin, and all the cities you know from news. We have the hotline, and for now we had about 1,500 calls of victims. 500 of them were raped. The youngest one is 9 months child, she's dead, and the eldest one is 78 years old man. He is now keeping silence and wants to keep suicide. So the main donations we are asking to do is for the specialists, psychologists who work with them 24 hours a day, every day. These psychologists have to be paid and have to be helped. And we also need the specialists from Europe to study the psychologists, how to make the program of prevention of suicides of victims of war. Also, we work with traumatized children because they for now have a lot of traumas like mentals and physicals, of course. That's why we need the great amount of donations and fundraising to keep this process raising, because we need a lot of professionals. Ukraine was not ready to such an amount and such a horrible format of tortures, and rapes which our people are going through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Masha. And just one more quick minute to wrap up. So I'm also serving as the chief of the board of the Ukrainian Grant Fund of Startups, which is initiated by the Cabinet of Ministers and supported by the President. So basically it works like Yozma. We have grants for the startups, and we had 4,600 applications, and unfortunately we had to pause for a moment. Now we will restart the activity. And we are supporting the startups, and the main goal of One Ukraine is also to rebuild the startup ecosystem, because the majority of the male founders, they stay in Ukraine, they cannot move, and they're happy to pivot their startup, they're happy to take another startup, another topic which is crucial for Ukraine, for rebuilding the whole business ecosystem in Ukraine. And we will send you more information on that as well. So another initiative I would like to point, this is the government initiative, which President Zelensky started on the 5th of May, and it focused on defense, demining, and medical aid, and rebuilding of Ukraine. Basically, this is the government layer. So it's, we started our initiative from the day first as One Ukraine, focused on the private level, business to business, SMBs, bigger enterprises, but private to private. Initiative of the President Zelensky, United 24, is focused on the government layer. When you want to work with the governmental organizations, if you want to work with the ministries, it's important to work with the United 24, and I will send more information on that. Just quick recap, I know personally President Zelensky for more than 20 years, and as you might recollect, he is one of the most commercially successful producer and filmmaker in Ukraine, and me as the founder and the president of Odessa International Film Festival, with the 60,000 participants every year in July, one of the biggest audience festival in Ukraine. Of course, this year we paused, and Yossi and Steffi were in Ukraine at Odessa Film Festival during the Kindernet in 2019. We were basically changing the world that time through the art of movie. And I started the Film Academy in 2017, and President Zelensky, Vladimir Zelensky, was the board member, independent board member for 2 years in Ukrainian Film Academy with more than 600 film academics. The time changed completely. So now it's the war we are fighting. And the most important thing, which is important for all of us, is the support from the people, in the people's network. And that's only thing which is working. So basically, you can destroy the walls, as you've seen in our movie, which we presented at the beginning, but you cannot destroy the foundation of the morale, where morale stands. And together, only through the people's network and through the network of people, we can win together. So thank you very much, and please join us at our initiative, and thank you for your time and support. Thank you cordially. Thank you so much. Thank you.